Hi, and welcome to Prepping Essentials.
Good morning, it's 8 o'clock on Sunday the 7th of November. Just making my way down to the land, and as always, not quite sure what we're going to get done today, but let's find out. Well, here we are down on the land. It's another windy day. Not sure if you can see the trees moving or not, but very, very windy overnight. Bit of manual labour to be done. Got bags of corn there. There's 80 kilos, so I'll need to get the wheelbarrow to get that moved across. But for now, we'll go a different route this morning. We'll go down where I took the little red tractor yesterday. You can clearly see where I've been. The amount of leaves under the hedgerow versus the amount on the field, very noticeable. So tractor did do its work. The more I look at this, the more I want to do more. That's my OCD with the grass kicking in. But you can see there. Having said that though, overnight we've had quite a few more leaves drop, but the bulk of them are picked up. Really good job, pleased to get that done. I might be tempted to come and do this top bit. I don't know, we'll see how I get on and see how we are for time. As always, there's lots of competing things time wise. Might even be tempted to open the top of the beehive up this morning because it's not raining. Not quite sure about this wind though, whether they'll be too impressed with me putting a big draft inside the hive. Anyway, enough rambling, let me get inside the cabin, get opened up, sort the chickens out, get the coffee on, and we'll take it from there. Well, as usual, first things first, sort the chickens out, and look at this, wouldn't you know it? Now there's no glove. Yesterday they were spooked by the glove. Not today. What do you think of that little red one? Or have you found all the black ones? I'm not interested now. Here we go, look at it. It's those little black ones, the sunflower seeds that they like. Neighbour's geese are kicking off. Watch my fingers, you. God, you would think they'd never been fed, wouldn't you? Right, let me sort out this little feed box here, and then we'll get in the coop and see what we've got on the egg front. I'm not expecting a lot because I cleaned out yesterday. I'll be surprised if there's anything in here this morning, because I did clear out yesterday. There's plenty of mess to sort out. Nothing. Oh, look at that, we've got two in there. I suspect one of these at least must be from the smoke. Yeah, they're warm. Somebody's been early this morning. Nothing. Food and water, I'll leave that for a while and then top up before I leave. Bit of mess down there to sort out. Bit of mess here to sort out, so I'll get that done, then I can get a coffee. Well, good morning. It's Sunday already. The weekend, as usual, is just flying by. It's a bit cold on the hands this morning, and we've got quite a strong wind, which is just helping to make that coldness bite into you. So I'm not sure if I'll be venturing out in the little red tractor again today, much as I would like to. I've brought some extra feed in for the chickens, stocked up yesterday. I was talking to my neighbour, hi Gary, only what would it be, a couple of weeks ago, He'd just been down to the farm shop for feed for his chickens, and he was telling me that they'd run out. So a little bit concerning. I did top up a few weeks ago, but I'm down to my last, or I was, I'm not now, down to my last 60 kilos. So I thought I'll just take a chance, and I did catch Gary yesterday. He was arriving just as I was leaving, and I asked if they had any in at the farm shop, and he said yes. So hence the speedy trip yesterday, just to top up a little bit. With the supply chain the way it is, you just have no clue what is and isn't going to be available. So I'd much rather spend the money now so that I'm not panicking because there's no supplies as we go through the winter months. I need this to warm me outside and inside today. So food for the chickens brings me on to food for people. Everywhere you go now in all the different supermarkets, there's just shelf upon shelf of Christmas stuff. Whether that's decorations for the house, decorations for the garden for that matter. But there's an endless supply of the tins of biscuits and tins of assorted chocolates, general Christmassy stuff, Christmas puddings, sauces for Christmas puddings, and lots of advertisements on the TV. I mean, we're only just starting November, for God's sake. But lots of adverts on the TV from the different supermarket chains about Christmas dinners and the various things that go with Christmas dinners, whether that's your turkeys, your pork joints, Christmas puddings, cakes, pigs in blanket, sausage with bacon, endless adverts, which is focusing people's attention on Christmas and the Christmas dinner. I thought that today I'd focus your attention on dinners for next year. What's going to be available in the shops once the Christmas glut is out of the way and we're back to business as usual. I was going to do a video. In fact, I started to record a clip on Friday night when I got home from work. I'd been to the supermarket and topped up on a few different things, and I actually started doing a video because I was using the vacuum sealing machine just to seal up some more bags of rice. I think I did rice, flour, sugar. Time passes so quick I forget. Anyway, I've still got a clip on my phone that I started to do a video, and then events overtook me. I got distracted and I never ended up doing the video. So I guess this is a kind of a substitute. So food. I've done endless videos on long-term food storage over the last couple of years. So if you've not had a chance to see those because you're new, do feel free to spool back through the videos and take a look at exactly what it is I'm storing. There's a big range of videos on the different types of food that I'll mention now. So if you're unsure about what to do with the food, particularly the bulk dried foods and how to store them, then as I say, there's an endless list of videos for you to go look at. But starting with the staples, things that I store an awful lot of, so the bulk dried foods, it's becoming more difficult to find, particularly to find cheaper items. Bulk rice, different kinds of beans, so I store kidney beans, I store lentils, I store butter beans, broad beans I think some people call them. And they'll go into either recycled soda bottles, carbonated drinks bottles with oxygen absorbers, or they'll go into the vacuum sealed bags, and they'll pretty much store indefinitely. I've got stuff in my long-term stores in soda bottles from 2015, and indeed I opened a bottle of dried lentils a couple of weeks ago to make some soup, and they're perfectly fine. So what's that, 2015, 6 years, and they're still absolutely fine in a soda bottle. So yeah, don't be scared to have a little experiment, even if it's just a small scale experiment with your bulk dried foods. They will last indefinitely, and as a staple, they provide the base for endless different kinds of meals, whether that's as they are, so rice for chili con carne, dried pasta for spaghetti bolognese or pasta sauce dishes, and the beans for stews or as an accompaniment to a normal dinner. So an endless variety of things that you can do with your dried grains, beans, and pastas. You will need some sauce to go with that, but there's an endless supply in the stores. I would steer away from those big glass jars because value for money. It's better to buy they're called Tetra Pak, the waxed paper cartons. They come in small bricks, they're easy to store, and they're very, very cheap. Even now with the price rises, you can still pick those up for around about 40 pence per carton here in the UK. One thing I did experiment with, and it worked out quite well, was using soup. You can buy lots and lots of non-high brand soups nowadays. Each store or supermarket tends to have their own in-house brands, and I've successfully used chicken soup as a substitute for a sauce when I've been making chicken pasta. I'm pretty sure there's a video on that if you scroll back through the channel videos. So yeah, sauces to go with your rice and your pasta. Don't neglect those. In terms of vegetables, you'll know that I am storing potatoes that I've harvested from the garden. I have over the years experimented with dried mashed potato flakes in packets, and small potatoes in cans. And while I have had quite a bit of success with the dried potato flakes, the instant mashed potato, it doesn't store as long as whole potatoes in cans. So I've gradually weaned myself off the mashed potato, because you do need water to reconstitute it, whereas with the various tinned vegetables there's actually water in the can, so you don't need that additional water. I did used to store an awful lot of different types of vegetables, and I just found that they were taking up so much storage space that could be better used for other things. So again, over the years I've gradually worked out the individual cans, things like carrots and sweet corn, peas, and I've gone instead for cans of mixed vegetable, so everything all in one. But the biggest amount of vegetables that I've got in store is canned potatoes. I've got an enormous supply of those. People who come to visit me and they open the cupboard and see these rows of canned potatoes, they're quite taken aback. But they'll store for years, literally years and years. So yeah, tinned potatoes. And right now they still are, even with the price rises, they're still remarkably cheap for what you get. I think I'm paying still around about 45 to 55 pence, depending on which store I go to, for a large can. So yeah, canned vegetables. And then continuing on with the canned or tinned goods, I said that I'd rotated out the individual vegetables in favour of freeing up shelf space. And that shelf space really has been handed completely over to canned meats, tinned meats. Whether that's corned beef, spam or bacon grill, as we call it here in the UK. Hot dog sausages, you'll have seen endless videos on my channel about hot dog sausages, because they are just a meal in a can. All of these things are meals in cans. And again, the shelf life is massively long, and they're ready to eat out of the can. There's no preparation needed. You can eat them cold out of the can. Another thing that I've stocked up on a lot this year, I put off on it on price because the price I felt was a lot higher and the value was better in buying things like corned beef or Spam, bacon grill. But over this last year, I've kind of readjusted my focus a little bit. I've got enough luncheon meat, Spam, bacon grill, hot dog, sausages and corned beef. I've got way enough of that. So I've kind of moved out into, we're not like our American cousins. We can't actually get just chicken or beef in a can as you can in the States. But what we can get is chicken in a white sauce in a can. You used to be able to get it for £1 a can, but it's skyrocketed now. It's up to 130, 136 a can. That's the cheapest I'm finding it. And the sky's the limit if you want to go for named brand. Again, it's a meal in a can. It's ready to eat. You don't need to cook it, but it's a perfect addition to either a pasta meal, so that pasta with chicken in white sauce, or for making pies. I've experimented quite a bit this last year with different kinds of pies as I've kind of expanded my baking knowledge. So I've done corned beef and mash out of my long-term food preps, not fresh. I've done beef, I've done chicken. So yeah, canned meats, lots and lots of those. And although they are going up in price, if you shop around, particularly in the discount stores, you can still pick them up at good value for money prices. And the subject of pies kind of brings me on to the next subject, which is home baking. I mentioned just now on my Friday shop, I topped up again on flour. I do store both types of flour. So there's plain flour for making pies and breads, and then there's self-raising flour for making cakes, or that lighter, fluffier pastry, if you want. Cakes and breads. I've got a lot of that in long-term storage. I'd suggest that you too do store bread. One thing when the supermarket shelves have a panic run, one thing that does disappear quickly is bread and bread making ingredients, so your flours, your yeasts, they do disappear quickly. So do have those in your long-term store. That's really the basics. There are additions to that in terms of condiments to go along with your meals, so your salts, your peppers, your various spices, sugar for your baking or for your drinks, your coffees and your teas. But I wouldn't get too bogged down in a huge range of different things. I would kind of, unless you are prepped already, of course, if you are just starting out or you're trying to fill gaps, I would focus on those long-term staple products. I know a lot of YouTube channels, when they talk about long-term food storage, they go into a huge range of different things. I mean, people store potato chips, they store biscuits and sweets, cake mixes. They're almost a supermarket in their own right in terms of the range of stuff that they store. I don't have the money for that, and I don't have the storage space for that. So I really do focus in on the staples, so that I've got enough bulk within the meals, enough calories within the meals, and in terms of the various meats that I store, enough protein in there. One thing I didn't mention when I mentioned meat, it is a kind of meat, it's fish. A lot of people do store tuna. Personally, I don't. I store sardines. For the price they are, bang for buck, they're amazing. They're still really cheap, even though the price has gone up. You can still pick up tins of sardines for around about 40-45 pence here in the UK. And again, they're a meal in a can. No cooking required. You can eat them straight out of the can, packed full of your oils that you need. So yeah, I store an endless amount of sardines, and you don't just have to eat the sardine, you can mix them in with a meal, or you can make unusual things. I did a video on sardine fish cakes that I've made, so check that out on the channel as well. So that's it really. I just wanted to talk a little bit about food. No pictures unfortunately, but having talked upon food for the chickens, I thought it was just a nice little segue to talk about something that I talk about endlessly: stocking up on food for yourselves. Prices are definitely going up, availability is coming down, and while it's there now, it would be foolish not to take advantage, because I'm not convinced that it'll be as plentiful, and it certainly won't be as cheap as we go into next year. Wherever you are, wherever you're doing, please do stay safe and well. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Thank you for all of the comments on the last few videos. It's nice to see an increasing number of people commenting. It does help me in terms of boosting morale to keep pushing out the videos, but it also does help other people. I do see from time to time people commenting on comments, if that makes sense. It just gets a little bit of a discussion going. It helps to share people's knowledge. I am not the font of all knowledge, not by an awful long way. There are a lot of people out there far more knowledgeable than I am. I'm just trying to stimulate interest in the subject of prepping and trying to be a little bit more self-sufficient. So thanks for the comments. Please do keep them up. They do help other people. If you've not commented before, give it a go, even if it's just to say hi, or I enjoyed that, or I didn't enjoy that, and it'll give me a bit of a steer as to what you want to see in terms of content. So let me get this coffee down me. The chickens will be wanting some greenery. I just need to mound up those potatoes. I will take you for a quick run round. I didn't yesterday, and we'll see what the weather's doing. If it's not too bad, I'll get the tractor out. If it's still blowing a gale and cold, I won't. I've got plenty of other things I can be doing elsewhere. Well, I just came out to open up the polytunnel so I could do a quick run round with you, and I noticed something a bit bizarre on the gate. Can you see that? Something has been chewing at the actual wood on the gate. How bizarre is that? I've no clue why they would be doing that, whatever it is, but I don't know how old that is. It looks fairly fresh to me, and I've not noticed it before, so I think it is a recent addition. But I mean, any ideas what could be doing that and why? I mean, there's nothing exotic in the raised bed area for them to come and have a go. Truly bizarre. We have got a little bit of sunlight just peeking out onto the hive. There's a little kestrel there. I don't know if you can see that or not. And as soon as I zoom in, it disappears. Yeah, so I don't know, I might hang around a little while, and if that sun keeps up, I might just be tempted to lift the lid off. We've still got this wind. It's not as bad as it was this morning, first thing, but oh, I don't know, decisions. Anyway, I'll open the polytunnel up and have a quick run round. Well, it wouldn't be the weekend without the greenery, would it? And as usual, a little red one is hovering around. It knows. Oh, look at this, I've started something now. Watch my fingers. Oh dear. Cockerel, if you get my finger, you will get a slap. Clearly the gloves yesterday was the thing that was putting them off. they're not fussed at all today. Ah, you be careful, cockerel. I could watch this all day, but I won't. We'll have a little run round the polytunnel and garden area. The other red one's eyeing me up. It's getting all jealous. Ah dear. Right, let me get cracked on. Otherwise I'll just be sat here all day. No big changes in here from last week. Cabbages continue to put on massive amounts of growth. I am quite surprised at this. These were supposed to be spring cabbage for spring. I've banked up the potatoes. I'll be amazed if these manage to get through winter. There's another one down there, look. But as always, it's an experiment. Let's see what's possible and what isn't. You might notice a gap over there where that sweet potato was. That's because I've moved it into the polytunnel. Literally just moved it. I figured I'd put myself out of my misery and take a little look and see if there's anything actually under the soil. And I'm going to do the same with those potatoes that failed over there. So sweet potato, I'll pull a bucket of carrots, and I'm anticipating nothing is going to be inside these, but you never know. Well, I'm not anticipating that there's going to be a great deal, if anything, in these potato buckets. They weren't really in very long at all before the frost or the cold weather got them, so I'm doubting highly. We've got some rotted potato in here, so there's the plant. Messy job. And it's had a try at producing. Ah dear. Oh. So really, as expected, there's not a lot going on in here. They've tried to make something, but they've just not had long enough to make something. I think that's the original tuber. Oh, hang on, what's that? No, it was a bluff, it was soil. Oh, we've got a potato, one, and that's the rotten one. That's an original tuber that went in. Yes, this is a fail. Oh, just a minute. That's a potato that's been desperately trying to grow but failed. That's an original tuber that's tried. So, nothing of excitement in there, I'm afraid. I will pull out the other ones just to have a look and see, but clearly they've just not had enough time before the cold weather has killed them off. So let me take a little look in the rest and I'll show you what it produces, but it's going to be a bit disappointing. Hopefully the carrots won't be, and then we've got the magic of the sweet potato to look at as well. Well, I emptied all 4 of those potatoes and got that. Nothing, you might as well say. So I'm not expecting much out of this either, but let's take a little look and see. Sweet potato. I've been dying to have a look. You remember this was an experiment that was started very, very late. Lots of root growth. I'm laughing because I can see some baby sweet potatoes. Look at that. Yeah, clearly they went in extremely late, and I've said all along that I wasn't expecting anything dramatic. There's the vine, but we have got some baby sweet potatoes. Is there such a thing? There we go. And in all honesty, I wasn't even expecting this. It's definitely been trying, look. You can see that it's produced. Yeah, they should have been in a lot earlier than they were. But it's proved that you can grow them. Even though there's tiny, tiny, tiny things. It's produced. So I am, in all honesty, pretty stunned that they've produced anything. But they have. Well done, little plants. I couldn't leave them any longer, in all honesty, because now we're into stray potato. Now that we're into freezing temperatures, the leaves were all dying back, so they weren't going to last much longer anyway. But on a positive note, this year I have learned how to grow sweet potatoes from the shop bought sweet potatoes. So now that I know that, next year I'll be able to do it properly and plant at the right time. So hopefully next year we'll go from this to something a lot bigger. So I'm not disappointed. Right, let's get rid of that and get some carrots and see what they're doing. I've noticed this morning, as I've been looking at these, an awful lot of slugs, awful lot, buried amongst the foliage. I'm hoping you can see this on the video. I've not looked. There's a rotten one. But look at this. Now we're talking. Look at those. Hey? How good is that? And there's lots of them here. An awful lot of them. Look at that. Hey? So, let me get this bucket emptied out and I'll show you what we've got in the final harvest. Well, this is what we ended up with. We had quite a lot that the slugs had got to, or that were just simply too small. So all of this foliage and these smaller carrots and the foliage off the sweet potato, that can go in for the chickens. Don't laugh, I can hear you laughing. That was all that was in that potato and sweet potato containers. But out of that one bucket, in addition to all of these that are no good and are going for the chickens, we ended up with these that are perfectly good and will be definitely going into my kitchen. So all in all, carrots continue to be a huge success. The sweet potato, excellent learning curve for me as to what to do next year, and the chickens are going to get some more greenery, so it's a win-win. Well, we're on anti-rodent patrol again. I've just wired up some more of these poison bait blocks. I've got my peanut butter. I'm going to go out and bait what's left of the traps because 2 of them have disappeared completely. Something's obviously been caught, and then something big has come along and caught what was caught and ran off with it. Quite surprised by that because I did tie them down well, but it wasn't metal like these bait blocks. It was string. So lesson learned there, I guess. But the traps are working well. These bait blocks, I'll show you in a second, are also now working well. They've obviously got hungry and have started to eat these. So I'll give you a quick run round outside. So I've baited this trap with peanut butter. Hopefully that'll attract some attention. I've done the same with this one. There was another one here, but it's gone completely. There's definitely been interest here because both of these bait blocks, if you can see that, have been nibbled at. There's another one round there. It's also been nibbled at, and something's had a go at my homemade concoction. So I'm going to pop another one of these poisons here. I might actually put 2 there. And similarly at this little bait station over here, had success with this trap, just rebaited that. And something's been definitely chewing around here because this block has gone completely and this one has been well and truly nibbled at. No signs of activity on there though. So I'll get the fresh blocks put out and hopefully we'll get some more success. Well, that's it for another day and another weekend actually. That sun didn't last long. The wind is back, the grey clouds are back, so I'm suspecting we're going to have some more rain. Anyway, we've achieved a few little bits and pieces today, that's all that counts. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're staying safe and well and enjoying your weekend. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Well, that's it for this video. I hope there was something in there that was of interest to you. If you did like the video, please do click on the like button. Also feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. As always, welcome any comments, questions or suggestions you might have. Are you too focused on Christmas to think about the new year? I hope you're not, and I hope you are continuing to top up on your long-term food stores, and if you haven't already started, now is an ideal chance. Get it while it's in the shops because you never know when it might not be. What are you up to in terms of your long-term food storage? Have you stored anything different to what I was talking about in the cabin chat? Really keen for you to share your tips, tricks, suggestions in the comment section for everybody else. They really do help the people who view the channel. So please do leave your comments in the comment section below. But for now, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.